Don't you know we're just starting? But you sure we got the clue how bad this we go. Don't you know no more art? And as you look to the horizon, not a cloud, but then stormy weather's go too cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around you is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done there, but the time is hit you, you're not surprised.
Charlie Brown, oh Charlie Brown.
I can't believe it. She must think I'm the most stupid person alive.
Come on, Charlie Brown. I'll hold the ball and you kick it.
Hold it? Ha! You'll pull it away and I'll land flat on my back and kill myself.
But Charlie Brown, it's Thanksgiving.
What's that got to do with anything?
Well, one of the greatest traditions we have is the Thanksgiving Day football game. And the biggest, most important tradition of all is the kicking off of the football.
Is that right?
Absolutely. Come on, Charlie Brown. It's a big honor for you.
Well, if it's that important, a person should never turn down a big honor. Maybe I should do it. Besides, she wouldn't try to trick me on a traditional holiday. This time I'm gonna kick that football clear to the moon!
Isn't it peculiar, Charlie Brown, how some traditions just slowly fade away?
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Galtopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. No tagline. Ladies and gentlemen, the opening of the hardcore begging season is here. It's been beautiful. Now, we already did a broadcast on that. That was the last one, actually. So now let's actually talk about what some of that's going to entail. The desperation is in the air. You can smell it. Sorry, I'm actually kind of stuffed up, but it smells like spam. It smells like spam. But in any case, this is the time of year where Phil quite literally shows his ass. And the thing is this year kind of has been set off a little bit different than last year. I said that in the last broadcast. But his attack on Tevin is one of the more interesting aspects of it. Because I don't remember him really going after anybody, at least in November of last year or at the beginning of the hardcore begging season. As you guys know, we found out that he was pulling gout ops later on, trying to get channels taken down in videos. But that was later on in the year. That was December leading into January because of the whole escort situation. So it's almost like, and this is just a theory, ladies and gentlemen, bear with me, okay? I'm a cute pup, nice suit, got a slight cold. But it makes me wonder, is Phil trying to drum up controversy with Tevin to lead into the hardcore begging season so he can constantly drum up attention for himself? But the thing is his fan base has kind of been bled dry. There's not really a lot of money being brought there, and Tut, who's no longer there, his impact is still felt over there. You have to give him at least that much. He's disrupted the pig roach nest enough to where things are still in disarray. Swaggins is still, every other day, give or take, still trying to cement himself as, Empress Swaggins and trying to reclaim his throne when really he has no contenders to it. It's almost like he's scared that Tut's going to come back in some type of incarnation, if you will. And also, we also brought you guys the fact that since King Tut is back into the mix, sock accounts all over the place. So at any given time, shit can pop off. With that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the two broadcasts that I'm bringing you guys today. First one, or both of them, sorry, by Snort Burnell. First one is, now he follows the polls, Cat's strange schedule, and I don't drop games for money and views. Bullshit, as you guys all know. Let's break down the third part first. I don't drop games for views and money. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all this man does. It's all he's ever really known for. He can't do anything else. You're talking about someone who still lives in 2010, and he treats YouTube as such. It's funny how you keep bitching about YouTube when YouTube's an archive channel. So why is that even part of your argument? Why is that even an excuse that you have to conjure up? Because, oh, I'm sorry, you don't have anything else to conjure up. It's the only thing that you really have. But it's an archive channel, Phil. And once you put it into archive status, that's that. That's like when you say, oh, well, I love Cat, she's my soulmate, we're meant to be together, and then you put her into side horse status because there's an alleged third chick in the mix. I'm not saying anything about that, but I'll clarify that in just a second. So once you relegated YouTube to being an archive channel, then this is just the natural progression, because it's not like you were putting any effort into it anyway. So what comes to pass is what comes to pass. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about views and money. You look at how he treats games. He treats games, and it's become more and more apparent as he's gotten older and older and older, is that everything's a cash grab. Everything's a cash grab, and he'll milk it for whatever it is. Let's give you an example. So as it pertains to Phil's streams, I always look at it like this. He has the premiere stream, which is his first stream, and then he has the dead stream at night. Or, as someone said in the comment section, the elephant boneyard. And that's really what it is. So he'll play a new game. He'll give it 2 or 3 tries on the main stream, just to see if he can get some traction on it, see if it can bring in attendance, see if it can bring him donations, and so on and so forth. So he doesn't have to beg too much following the pre-stream. If it doesn't work, it immediately goes to the boneyard at night. And if it doesn't work out there, it gets shelved, which really means it's just dead. He might pull it out if he's desperate and he has nothing else to do, but why would he do that when he has Blackout, which is the new Axe the Pig without the stupid hat? And it's a great way for him to rail off on Tevin. It's almost like self-masturbation without the payoff. He just keeps doing it, and expecting that something good's going to come out of it, and it never does. I mean, that might explain why he doesn't get shit done in the bedroom with the ladies, but hey, that's just my assumption. In any case, that's what his situation is there. Let's go to the second part. Cat's strange schedule. Well, Cat is a rather interesting individual. As it pertains to her time being there, she's only been there for, what, she got there in February? Yeah, she got there in February. We're in November. She's been there for, roughly 9 or 10 months. The fact that we've seen such a large change, we've seen the amount of distance between them and their relationship over really a short period of time, is rather apparent. And it shouldn't be too surprising to any of us. So for her to go to the gym, to get her mind right, to get filled up by gym, shouldn't come to a surprise to any of us either. Now, that leads into lady number 3. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I had reported a couple of broadcasts back about this alleged lady that might be the third, who might be the part 3 in the Dave Love Triangle saga. Now, I can't remember if I saw it in a tweet or if I saw it on Kiwi Farms. I know somebody like James the Lesser certainly reported on it. I know other people have at least seen it on Twitter or Kiwi Farms, respectfully. She seems a bit older than Cat, so she might be, not only I would consider her to be a little bit more stable, but she's going to be a little bit more firm in what her beliefs are, if that even becomes into anything. Now, if I remember correctly, the conversation started on Twitter between these guys back and forth over the span of, I don't know, maybe a couple days. It doesn't seem anything serious, but Phil was really pursuing it, and I think that's what started to draw people's attention. No one's really been talking about it lately, so it might have died out. But if it's something that you guys are interested in looking into, by all means, and whatnot, I'll talk to James the Lesser, or I'll shoot him a message in the comment section and see if he remembers what I'm talking about. She could potentially be number 3, given the amount of I would say, the disharmony between Phil and Cat currently. And it's very apparent. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to be the person to have to cook for this man, clean for this man, go to the gym to try to get yourself right, while this idiot's upstairs talking about, oh, he walks up and down the stairs during his breaks and that's his exercise. Or when you guys go out to run errands for, I don't know, the 4 or 5 hours on the one day off that he has, that's the exercise that he needs for the whole goddamn week. You don't need someone who smells like spam probably every minute of every day. After a while, that becomes mundane and it just starts to be not worth it. And despite how desperate her situation was, leaving her ex-boyfriend, who she ended up cheating on Phil for, despite that situation to come here, she has to realize she's made a monumental mistake. So despite all of the decisions that were made up to this point, it's very obvious that she's trying to make the best of what she has. She's actually just trying to deal with what she has until she can play her next card, which means either going back to the ex-boyfriend or she has someone else lined up. In any case, as it pertains to this third woman with Phil, it's the same subject. He can see the writing on the wall. He can see this isn't going anywhere. It's very possible, as I've said before, that he may very well love Cat or care for Cat more than she cares about him. And you can't make somebody love you. Let's be honest, Phil, you don't love anyone but yourself, and you're really terrible at that. So with that being said, what other options does he have except for a look for the next make and model? Just saying. Will that work out? No. His allure is the house and the nice car outside. But yet again, who actually sees all the problems outside of the detractors? I've proposed this argument before about how much does Kat know about all of his begging on stream, because she says she doesn't watch any of his streams. What does she do in her spare time? She's not playing Overwatch. She admitted that recently. So she has to be on the internet in some capacity, even though she has social media accounts that she doesn't use anymore. So what does she do? Is she an avid reader outside of the gym, outside of work? Is she hanging out with people outside of the house? What is she doing? In any case, we'll get into that situation. And the bonus broadcast will actually touch on that a little bit, because I'm going to bring you guys back to January 10th of 2018, when Phil was basically hyping Kat up when she got there. And I want you guys to really see the change in such a short period of time. But it shouldn't be surprising to anybody. Failure is something that Phil knows well. It's not just an aspect of himself. It's an aspect of reality. A reality that he himself can never escape from. Because, to be honest, he's too scared to put the effort in. He would rather live the illusion of being somebody, even if it was once, even if it was fleeting, even if it was years ago, than to try to be something now. It's rather sad. And as it pertains to the polls, well, ladies and gentlemen, we talked about this in our last broadcast, where, let me go ahead and pull it up because I made notes because I'm a professional. Not really. In the last broadcast, we brought you the story by Snort Burnell saying, I don't use polls as an excuse to skip games. As you guys know, ladies and gentlemen, he's already skipped 2 games. He has skipped Fallout 76 for good reason, so no one can shit on him for that. And then he skipped Battlefield. Yet again, that's probably not a bad reason for that either. Polls, ladies and gentlemen, is something that he has realized lately has screwed him over. And I'll even take you guys back, at least verbally, I'll take you guys back to what that situation was. He's so scared that the detractors, haters, and trolls have infiltrated that aspect of his business, air quotes, that now he can't even trust it. He doesn't even care to trust it now. He would rather dismiss it outright until he gets backlash, which leads into this piggy begging situation that he's in now. But where does all of this stem from, ladies and gentlemen? People have been trolling Phil's polls for a long ass time and whatnot. And when he's not stroking his own poll, there's a bit of complications. But as it pertains to games, what really set him off and is causing him to act the way he is now? I, ladies and gentlemen, proposed Mario Sunshine. That Patreon goal that he basically tried to stiff people for Spyro, which is what he's playing now currently. Not that same game, but, within the series. And when he tried to stiff them for Mario Sunshine, he really thought he was going to get away with it. He really thought, because he was playing, Mario plus Rabbids, or Mario and Rabbids, and he was playing Mario Odyssey. So he was like, his frame of thought was, oh, well, that's too much Mario in such a small period of time, especially when I can't put it on YouTube and monetize it. So you guys just take what I give you, and then you're going to take the Spyro so I can monetize that shit, and then eventually I'll bring Mario Sunshine up. Oh, why did he want to go ahead and do that, ladies and gentlemen? Because he wanted the fan base to pay him another $1,250 for it. That's what he wanted, and that's what he thought the lure was. He tries to go ahead and say, oh, well, I went above and beyond and whatnot. I gave you guys 2 more playthroughs than I needed to, yada, yada, yada. Shut the fuck up. You got $1,250 to play a game. Funny thing was, Phil, is when we break all that down, right? I wish I had brought this into the broadcast, but this broadcast is going to be a little long anyway. So we'll touch on it later on. You didn't have the game. You didn't have all the items to play the game. It leads me to believe that you were never going to play it. And I think he had to cough up altogether somewhere between 130 to about $150 to make Mario Sunshine, go through, to make it work. And that was because, well, Phil's an idiot, to be honest with you. A lot of the stuff that he may have needed, he may have had packed away in some boxes in that nook or in the closet in his office, but he's too lazy to go through it, and he buys so much shit frivolously that he doesn't even know what he has and what he doesn't have. But that right there is going to be a story for another day. I do know that Almighty Tevin, praise be Almighty, has a Back in Time coming up soon, or it's coming up. It's coming up, I think, today or tomorrow. In any case, so I'm anxious to see where he decides to go with that. But because the way Phil used to spin back in the day, and in a lot of ways how he spins now, and he just doesn't talk about it, it makes you think that he probably had all the components he ever needed. The thing is, he was just never planning on playing the game. He wanted another 1250. And the fact that he had to go ahead and buy all those aspects, all of those peripherals to make that gameplay happen, only proves that he was never going to play it. Because that ended up cutting into his 1250. Just saying. Ladies and gentlemen, I've spoken I've spoken quite a bit and whatnot. So let's go ahead and get into the broadcast at hand. Hope you guys are doing well. Thanksgiving's literally around the corner. It's literally in a couple days. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. I hope you guys have very safe travel and whatnot. Make it back home. Make it back to YouTube. Make it back to your favorite detractors. Just make it back. And be ready for what's going to happen next as it pertains to Christmas. Because the hardcore begging season, ladies and gentlemen, is in full swing. It's one of the best parts of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh, yes. A GTG Networking Productions. You guys all know the slogan. It's time to watch me work.
Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Scared easily. I know that's stupid.
Well, the voting was incredibly close. I'm not even kidding you. It was 2% determined the winner here. And it was 2% of over 500 voters. So that was probably about, when you think about it, 10 voters.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as I said before, we're here with Snort Burnell, Dspgaming, one of our favorites. Let's see. Now following the polls, Cat's strange schedule, and I don't drop games for money and views. Snort. Let's get into it.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it leaned very, very slightly into the favor of Spyro 2. So today will be my first major stream of Spyro 2. Up to now, I've only played it as a night stream for 2 hours a session.
I'm hypocritical.
By the way, an update everyone on Fallout 76, the major consensus is the game sucks. I've been following it on social media, and it's pretty hilarious because if you actually look at, mainstream gaming media, they are all promoting the shit out of Fallout 76, but if you actually look at normal users on Twitter, most of them hate the game. They're saying it's fun for a couple hours, but the game's frame rate runs terribly, and it runs like shit, and it's not fun to play because when you get into a tough firefight, you can't even really see what you're aiming at because the game's so choppy. The game is buggy as shit. Constantly items are disappearing from inventories, reappearing, people are getting stuck, people are not loading properly. And basically, after now, people have now played Fallout 76, for how long people have been playing it, it came out, Tuesday, Wednesday? So people are now saying it's boring. They've played it for 2 days, and there's nothing left to do in the game, and they're completely bored with it. And, which is exactly what I thought was going to happen. I said, wow, I'll play Fallout 76 for 2 co-op sessions, then I'll be incredible.
Hey, let me jump in for a minute. I'm actually really surprised how empty Fallout 76 is, to be honest with you. We all knew it was supposed to be kind of more online based and whatnot, but Fallout's always been known for a very rich story. And as I had said in the last broadcast, I've been watching Oxhorn for a very long time. He's a great YouTuber, and I really like his narration. I like his delivery. He has a podcast. I think it's called Cigar and Scotch or something like that. I can't remember. I've only listened to it once. He's a great listen. Like I said, I'll go ahead and put him down in the description as one of the people that I like to plug. Also, Epic Nate, he does like top 10 lists or top 5, top 10 lists of like stuff for Fallout, Elder Scroll. I think he does another game too. He's a great channel too and whatnot. His lists are pretty good. So I'll link him down in his channel down in the description too. I'm sure most of you guys know him. These guys are really popular. But as it pertains to Fallout 76, I thought there would be just more, to be honest with you. I thought it would be a little bit richer from a narrative standpoint, from a story standpoint. I understand it's supposed to be multiplayer based, but I just thought there'd be more there. That's all. I don't know what is going to be the future for 76, and because Fallout's not really known to fail. You know what I'm saying? It's really not. So to see it go down the way it is also makes you look at Diablo, for example, the new mobile game that's coming about, and you're wondering, well, the PR for that shit's already in the shitter, and when the game comes out, you still have two different factions where, kind of like with Fallout, where you have a group that's like, it's Fallout, I love it, I'm going to play it, and I'll make the best of it. And then you have the other side of it that's like, this is obviously a blatant cash grab, we shouldn't be supporting this bullshit. You can say the same thing for Diablo. Now, however, how that's going to play out, I'm not really quite sure, and I just don't know what the frame of mind is going into this. Like, I understand the whole battle royale situation and the whole online gaming situation has really pushed the narrative, and there's a whole bunch of money to be made in all of this. At the very same time, though, we're straying further and further away from what makes these games great. And for whatever reason, these companies want to chase the dollar over trying to bring more and more people into the fan base. And it kind of good for me. I like to look at it in a lot of ways into the whole Tony Montana type situation. And like, first you get the money, and then you get the power. And once you get the power, you get everything else. You know what I'm saying? And so, I don't know. I guess there's a right way and a wrong way to make money, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And as of late, we're seeing a lot of these game companies go the wrong way with it. So, but I won't take it away from Phil that Fallout's just not, it's not looking very good. It's really not. But there's some great YouTubers out there that are at least making it tolerable. And thank God for that. DSP News.
Bored with it. Basically, the world is apparently completely empty. And it's so boring, besides just killing generic enemies, which is exactly what I thought it was going to be. So, I guess it was a good thing that I didn't play it. I'd much rather play good games than terrible ones at this point, you know? I want these streams to be positive. I want to show you guys my love of games. And I'd much rather play games like Hitman and Spyro and Assassin's Creed and Dragon Quest and things that I'm enjoying rather than making myself suffer playing the bad games. Again, this would have been a much different situation years ago when I was making so much money I could basically buy every game that came out under the sun. Even if they were terrible, I'd play them a session or two and throw them away. Now I can't do that anymore. You know, I gotta pick and choose, so.
I need money. Well, I need money.
But see, yet again, that goes back to that irresponsibility that I was telling you guys about earlier, because I've been trying to deep dive into some of Phil's stuff for, you know, future Gout and Wines or Wine and Doubts, and he was wilding the fuck out with his money. He was wilding out with his money. Now, I haven't even been able to deep dive into anything. I've only seen there was only 2 episodes that I picked in particular, but he was wilding out with his money, just buying shit to buy shit. Now, I've already, you know, proposed the argument that he was doing it to try to fill the spot that Wolverine figure was that initial Wolverine figure was supposed to fill. Even though Phil ended up getting that figure later on down the line, but he didn't get it right then and there when he wanted it. So once Phil, and people like Phil, it's not exclusive just to Phil, but it's other people too. When they get money, especially if you're a miserable individual, let's start there. If you're a miserable individual, money does not help. It doesn't help at all. Because all you're going to want to do is fill your space with all the things that you couldn't have before that moment. And in turn, it all turns out to be junk. Phil's a perfect example of it. Look at all the shit that he has now. Half of that shit's stuck in that nook or stuck in that closet. Most of that shit he don't even know about. He doesn't care about none of it, but he cares enough not to sell it. He cares enough not to give it away because it's his. Even though he doesn't remember it, it's the remnants of when he was something. But in truth, it's useless to him. How is it that you have, for example, I remember one of Tevin's old back in times actually talked about this. That Lion King game that he has. I'm not saying he should play that. He should keep that shit sealed up. But he has a collection of old ass games that can be captured and that he can be playing. That can fill all of the dead air and spaces throughout the year, and he never plays them. He just completely avoids them because he feels it's too much of a hassle and whatnot. To be perfectly honest with you, Phil, you're a relic. So for you to play relics would be a good gimmick. Go back and play some of the old shit because the new shit isn't bringing people in anymore. You're saying that those games are too complicated. You're saying that you liked it easier back in the day. Then play the old games. Become a retro game player. Become a retro streamer. You're not doing well in the modern era, as you call it. You're failing here. You can at least go back. You know what I'm saying? When it was a simpler time. Do you guys remember a day and time when video games didn't require DLC? And when you paid your, I think my brother said, like, when he paid your 40 or 50 bucks, you got the whole game? Pepper's Farm remembers. Same thing. You should be doing that, Phil. He has a cornucopia of that bullshit in a closet somewhere, unless unless Panda was smart and took that shit with her. Who knows? But there's a cornucopia of shit that he could be playing right now. Speaking of which, I'm just going to throw this out there. We all know that when Panda bounced, she just picked up and bounced, right? She just picked up and left. Is it possible that she knew where some of the valuable stuff was in that nook and decided to take that with her? Nah, she probably wouldn't. She should have, though, but she probably wouldn't. But you guys can let me know what you guys think. He needs to do something. He needs to change. He really does. I know this is kind of like a broken record type statement, but he needs to do something else. And he says he's the king of retro, then play older games. Don't play this easy shit that you can have access to. Go back and play some old Nintendo games, some old Super Nintendo games. Do that. You can make something out of it. Because like I said, you're not doing very well with the new ones. I don't know, just my opinion. DSP News.
Money, 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 money. Money. No, I want money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, money, money that I gotta spend. Endlessly spend money. It's addictive. As of today, supposedly, there was actually it happened last night. YouTube and Teespring have teamed up and launched integration. Wow. If people buy things through this integration while watching my YouTube videos, I make extra money. Oh no, what a greedy bastard. Like, I mean, talk about greed. So fucking greedy. Apparently I'm supposed to make like an extra $1 a sale or something like that.
MTC Dude cheered. He says, "May I respectfully ask why you sometimes stay up late instead of going to bed when Cat does?" Because actually, in truth, most days now...
Let me cut in real fast. One, Phil, that merchandise doesn't sell anyway. Two, that particular feature has been around for a while. I've gone to plenty of YouTube channels where you can see their merch literally right under the description box, right above the comment section. You can actually scroll through all of it right from there. I've seen that for a while now. I don't know why it's just now trickling down to you. I don't know if that's because all of those individuals were going through another, like manufacturer or whatever the case may be, but that's been around for a while. That's certainly been around for a pretty long time from what I've seen. At least I started noticing it in the beginning of the year. So why is that trickling down to Phil now? Who knows? But Phil, that's not going to help you any which way. You've already abandoned South Galtopia, which is YouTube. You've already abandoned that. So if you really think that's going to drum up more support for you, you might want to go back and look at your views on YouTube. Hashtag just saying. Phil's bad, man. Let's continue.
Schedules are starting to align. Okay? My schedule is typically I stay up till around 2 a.m. and I wake up around 9 a.m. Okay? So I get around 7 hours of sleep a night. Some days it's different. It fluctuates. But that's my general sleep schedule. And then I get up, and within an hour of my waking up, I'm already here on stream with you guys. I stream all the way till dinner. I eat, I clean up, sometimes take a shower. I'm right back to streaming. And then typically I finish streaming around 9 p.m. my time, but that's when everything else begins. I have to upload, I have to do shit around the house, and usually, on a normal day...
What do you have to do around the house? You don't cook. You don't really clean anything. You just recently learned how to do laundry, and to be honest with you, all those things are supposed to be her responsibility anyway. His word is not mine. So what are you doing? Just saying. What is it that's really occupying your time? Just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out. Oh, actually, we can throw this out there. We know he's doing it. Maybe that's flap time, possibly. And for someone has said in the comment section of the last broadcast, hey, did I miss something? You can find it on a bunch of different detractor videos, but there is Phil took a screenshot a while ago of his took a screenshot of one of his monitors, and there's a small icon, thumbnail if you will, that actually has a picture of Panda in a side view covering one of her boobs. You can find it. You can certainly find it on Twitter because people have been memeing that shit out for a while now. We think either A, that was a kind of like a slideshow of pictures that she made for Phil, you know, something a little naughty, a little kinky, or it was an actual video that she put together for him, you know, something to kind of spice things up. Because as you know, drinking all that gin and whatnot, Phil's gonna have a hard time, you know, performing, if you will. So maybe she was trying to give him some added motivation. Sadly for her, it didn't work. That's all right though. She got Tyrone now, and I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you, the real men out there, we aim to please. You can take that to the bank, ladies. DSP News.
Works late and comes home pretty late. Like, I'm talking almost around midnight.
And oh shit! What the fuck? What the holy shit was that? What the fuck, dude? I was not expecting that whatsoever, dude. Any pet that I get would never be allowed in my office ever, unless I'm highly supervising them. So the cat comes in for 5 minutes to be on stream or whatever. Okay.
Now here's the thing. Let's go back a little bit. When Phil initially told us about Cat's schedule, what did he say it was? He said it was basically early morning. So I'm thinking for Phil, early morning is like anything before 9:30, obviously. But let's say 7:30, 8 o'clock. And she usually works till about 3. I think he was saying 2 or 3 o'clock. Now that was Monday through Thursday. So she had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. Now they shifted her schedule to the evening because it's the holidays. So now she's working later. Now, if I remember correctly, she was cooking din din for him before she leaves. So I would assume she was probably leaving after 4 o'clock maybe. And now she doesn't come home till 12. So obviously she's probably working from 4 to 10 maybe. Hits the gym for about an hour and a half maybe, and then comes home. Okay, so there's a couple of jobs around their way that would be reasonable, that would probably fit that time slot. More than likely. Because as a lot of you guys have seen, I've talked about it, James Lester's talked about it, Almighty Tevin, if you've been to his streams, he's talked about it and you've actually seen it. He's been streaming later and later, at least 3 or 4 nights a week. So he might be using that to kind of cover up that waiting period for her to come home. Maybe he's scared to sleep by himself. And I don't mean sleep by himself as in the same room, because I would assume they sleep in separate bedrooms. But he's probably scared to go to sleep without someone else in the house, especially if he's expecting her to come home. There might be a level of paranoia there, which only makes sense, to be honest with you. Interesting thought. DSP News.
You guys can see the cat on stream and it hangs out. Then it's get the fuck out. Because I can't babysit a cat while I'm trying to play a game or record a stream, you know. And with me today I have the lovely cat on stream. Say hello, honey. No, you're not good to say hello.
You don't need to babysit a cat. A cat will literally go around and chill. It is what it is. Like, just let the cat do what it wants. I mean, granted, once that cat catches a whiff of that rotting bacon smell, it's just going to go ahead and exit anyway. So there you go. When a cat thinks that the room smells worse than its own kitty litter, cats have logic. They'll keep it moving. As for the real cat, I mean, look at the interaction between the two of them. It doesn't look good. And yeah, they can laugh it off with this uncomfortable type situation, and with this awkwardness, if you will. But it certainly doesn't look good. It really doesn't. And as someone had pointed out, on one of Tevin's streams, oh, well, maybe she's not used to being in front of the camera. And Tevin pointed out immediately that, dude, go to her channel. She's just fine in front of the camera. It's just being on camera with him. Which shows, yet again, the type of effect that Phil has. Which is obviously negative. Negative as shit. But you can see someone who, her YouTube channel wasn't huge. Her Twitch channel wasn't that big. But she seemed to enjoy what she was doing. Now she's up there with a, air quotes, fellow gamer. And now look at how she acts. Food for thought. DSP News.
Okay, fine. Where's Cat? She is being held hostage. She's working a lot to pay the bills. Where's Cat? She was taking a shower when I was on break. She had just gotten out of the shower. So, that's where she is. I have no idea what else she's doing today. It's up to her. She cooked like crazy yesterday, so today's her day and will do whatever she wants. She actually...
I always felt there was something fucked up about that particular statement. Like, it basically sounded like, even though we've all joked about it, that she was just a live-in maid. Oh yeah, she did a bunch of extra detailing and a bunch of extra cooking and all that extra shit, man, yesterday, bruh. So, you know, she's washing all of the dust, dirt, and debris off her now, man. So yeah, today's her day off, man. She can do whatever the fuck she want. She had already filled all of her duties yesterday. That's what it made me feel like when I heard that. I was like, wow. Wow. I don't know what, like I said, we don't have the full details on what she was running from, but it wasn't that bad that she has to run to this. To be honest with you. But I always felt a certain type of way about that particular statement. And Phil throws that shit out in passing, and most of us kind of hear it and keep it moving. But there's always a couple of statements that Phil makes that it sticks with you a little bit. It's just kind of like, it makes you feel a certain type of way, and as in like, he didn't really say that. And then you'll even second guess it sometimes and be like, well, nah, he didn't mean what I think he means. But then it's Phil. So you immediately snap yourself back to reality and be like, yeah, maybe he did. Let's keep it going.
Last night, basically she doesn't really want to be on my stuff ever again. And I was like, that's kind of an extreme thing. Let's not say a definitive black or white yes or no yet. And she was basically like, no, at this point, I really don't.
Because she works nights now, and so I get to stay with her maybe an hour or two before we both go to sleep together, okay? It just so happens, MTC Dude's referencing last night when I was still awake and she was asleep because she was tired. We had been out all day long doing stuff, and she had become pooped, basically, and wanted to go to sleep. And I said, well, go ahead, I'm not tired yet. You know, my schedule, I get tired around 2 a.m., so I had a couple of hours to just kind of... I was watching WWE Network, catching up with WWE UK, which for some reason inexplicably has 2 episodes a week, yet they act like it's a new week. But you could tell they filmed everything in like one day. So I don't know why they do it like that. But every week they release 2 episodes. It's very weird.
Now,
all right.
I watch only a little bit of WWE. I like New Japan, to be honest with you. I watch a little bit of Lucha Underground. There's some other wrestling organizations out there you don't hear too much of. I kind of dabble in that, and I really like old school WWF, WCW, ECW. That's kind of like my thing. Phil, by far, has to watch way more wrestling than probably anybody that I know. And I know wrestling fanatics. And didn't he say early on in his video that he usually goes to bed around 9 or 10? I thought he said. Well, but we all know that's not true anyway, because he extends his streams. He's been doing it a lot lately. So he's saying that, oh, I'm not sleepy now, so now I don't go to bed till 2. But then again, Phil, didn't someone say to you that, hey, why can't you go to bed at a normal time or a more realistic time? And if you look at his tweets, especially the ones that are gin fueled, because ladies and gentlemen, if you're not following Phil on Twitter, which you're probably best not to, just check on him periodically. Well, definitely go to Dragon Killer, but if you want to go over there and see what Phil's doing and like some of the silly ass comments that's going on, you can peek in there every once in a while. I'm not going to tell you to follow Phil, and if you do follow him, don't comment on none of his shit, because you're just going to get banned, okay? Or you're going to get shadow banned, or you're going to get blocked. For example, I started this thing on Twitter called the Gentleman's Club, and it's basically just a post that I have of anybody that's been banned and show your screenshot. Most of us got banned, and none of us even talked to him. I know I didn't. I didn't even talk to Phil, and I got banned or I got blocked for whatever reason. James the Lesser was going at his headpiece for a while until he got blocked. A lot of people just got blocked for a bunch of stupid shit. But if you look at some of his tweets, especially the ones at night, you can tell which ones he's been hopped up on Jen and the ones that he's not. You can just tell. Because one, they're late. Two, it's usually some type of pathetic attempt at self-reflection. And I call it pathetic because you obviously know, Phil, that this is applied to you and not others. But like you're trying to make it sound like, oh, I had a spark of inspiration in the middle of the night, so I'm going to tweet this out. No, Phil. No. The gin started to kick in, and as the gin kicks in, especially for someone like Phil, reality starts to slowly but surely come into play. It's almost like him looking at himself in the mirror in the morning when he first gets up. You can see the failure. He can try to make the image seem... He can try to dilute himself to the image all he wants. But at the end of the day, the failure's still there. Him getting drunk is the same shit. A couple of drinks and he starts to realize exactly how much of a fuck up that he is. And how bad life really is. And he needs to tweet about it. Whether he needs to vent whether he needs to vent or he has to put out some form of self-reflection. He makes it seem like it's for other people, but really it's for himself. It's his subconscious coming out and saying, you need to say this because you need to see this. And when he's sober, then he acts like, oh, he doesn't remember anything, or he just brushes it off, or he doesn't even acknowledge it at all, unless enough people attack it or bring it back to his attention for him to have to actually address it. It's a pretty awkward situation to see him try to wrestle with himself on it. And you can see it all in the tweets. It's all there in the writing. Like I said, if you ever get a chance to check it out, you'll see what I'm talking about. DSP News.
So there you go. But the truth of the matter is, finally, Cat and my sleep schedule is finally starting to get in line, which is good. We're getting some more consistency, because we had for about 2 months there, it was all over the place.
Some days she would not be here during the daytime. Some days she would not be here during the nighttime. I didn't know when I could stream, and we wouldn't be able to now it's finally solidifying and starting to get better. So. What?
I'll just say this, thanks to everyone who has been contributing recently. Your tips in particular over the past week or so have been very, very helpful with the stuff that's been going on behind the scenes with my annoying-ass finances right now. And any contributions are much appreciated.
Tips have been helping me out in particular a lot. So thank you. The money dummies, because that's exactly what you fucking are. A bunch of fucking empty-headed idiots who paid me money to get absolutely nothing out of it. Thanks. Wow. A few people are asking me if I'm okay. Last night I said I was feeling very depressed. It's true. Last night I was feeling depressed, and I feel a little bit better today. So thanks for asking, everyone. It's Tevin's fault. And I
don't know if depression works like that, but whatever.
Absolutely correct, Android. You're right that if someone is illegally restreaming my stream, those are my views. You're right, they are. Kmart manager.
At the end of the day, Phil, whether you're depressed or not, the answers to that is not at the bottom of that Tanqueray or that Sapphire bottle. I don't know why you haven't figured that out yet. You know what I'm saying? And I say this, and no joking now, I want to be actually very serious about this, where you can't run away from your problems forever. You have to face them eventually. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, that's how small problems become big problems. That's how big problems start outweighing shit, and that's when people start looking for the easy way out. And you would think someone like Phil, who's been dealing with shit for a decade, would have realized that by now. Would have come to terms with some of it and just accepted it. Ladies and gentlemen, excuse me, and I say this with the utmost honesty, a smarter individual would be able to take Phil's situation and make it profitable. Think about it. You're the most hated, useless gamer on YouTube. On the internet at large. You're telling me that you can't cash in on that? You're telling me you can't make that happen? Yeah, you're going to have to be a laughingstock, you're going to be a stooge, you're going to be an idiot. But see, that's Phil's problem. Phil still tries to hold on to a sense of legitimacy. That he's still somebody. That's why he has such a hard time dealing with shit. When his back is against the wall, he'll let people rail on him all day. Like a good hoe. But outside of that, he believes that he's prime cut. He's the upper echelon the rest of the time. And he tries to maintain that, and he tries to hold on to it. You can call it pride, you can call it ego, you can call it arrogance, you can call all that stuff. But in truth, it's all he really has. It's the only, not even a shield anymore, dude. It's like a blanket. It's the only blanket that he has to shield himself. But Phil, you beg for money every day. You're better off abandoning that and actually try to cash in and just embrace that shit. But he wants to keep fighting. And the thing is you've already ice skated uphill once, Phil. You can't do that now. This is Shawshank Redemption type shit now. And you're still walloping in the shit because you won't get up and let it wash off. You won't get up and accept the fact that this is what you are. This is what you always were. It's funny, Phil, because I think Tevin brought it up in a podcast recently. Some of the detractors that are out here now used to be fans of yours, like deep fans of yours, not just on YouTube but on Twitter. And it's funny how they all change their names and now they all do this stuff. They do these things. They basically laugh at you on a 24-hour basis. So it's funny how you had people with very powerful voices or a lot of influence back in the day that are considered the upper echelon of detractors now that used to be on your side. And you ain't pissed all of them off to turn them against you. Because you were already in a decline, and I would assume each one of them tried to reach out to you in some way, shape, or form to be like, Phil, this can be fixed. This is how you can do it. And you told all of them to fuck off. If I had to guess, you told all of them to fuck off. And in turn, that's why you're where you're at now. It's rather ironic, to say the very least. But yet you want to run around and blame everything on Tevin, because like I said, Tevin's the flavor. He's the flavor of the month. And Tevin's still winning. Tevin's still winning. Just like how Snort Burnell ended up winning that last one. How SOK, until they kind of shot themselves in the foot, were essentially winning that. You pick these fights and the end game is never going to work against you. The only... I know most people would actually give him the victory over SOK, but even then I wouldn't give that to him. They committed suicide themselves, if you will. If you will, they committed suicide themselves. So I'm not going to give Phil the kill on that one. Sorry, Phil, this isn't Call of Duty. You're not going to sit there and eat off somebody else. You can't have that one. Just my opinion, of course. DSP News.
See, Kmart Manager is of the opinion that streamers basically should only follow the hot games and drop every single game. Like he just said, since you're a full-time streamer, you need to keep up with new releases. Would it be better you just drop long games after a few sessions? If I were in this only for the money, yes. Give me your money. Give me money. Gimme. Come watch me and give me monies. And if you don't, I'll have no life and no way to make money. Let the green roll in. That's what I live for, boys. And in fact, I actually believe that if I only played the hottest games, the newer games for a few sessions and I moved on, I probably would make more money. But I'm a gamer first.
Yeah, I'm a gamer!
You're not a real gamer. And this is my job second. I do this because I love video games, not because I'm trying to make a paycheck. Fuck you. You're a liar.
Let me step in. Your love for video games, Phil, aren't paying the bills. Point blank. So how is this a business then? Explain that to me. Let's go ahead and cut into this for a minute. Let's try to square this off. So you are a gamer first, and you do this as a job second. But the truth is, you hate video games. You hate them. It's merely a means to an end. It's the easiest thing that you can do, and that's why you do it. Now let's talk about the business aspect of it. You're a terrible businessman. I wouldn't even call you a businessman. You have no business acumen whatsoever. Because you have no creation, you have no creativity, I'm sorry. You have no forethought, and you can't adapt. And because you can't adapt, you can't adjust. A businessman or woman, someone who's business savvy in general, looks at the landscape, looks at their peers and what they're doing, and they pick what is the trend, and who's doing that trend and who's doing it well, and you ride that trend. Now that doesn't mean you have to completely devote yourself. Like for example, let's talk about Ninja, because Ninja getting fucked over. Well, he's fucking himself over, but Ninja right now has got a bullet on his back. It's been on his back for a while, but now they're coming for his headpiece. I've already talked about that in another broadcast, but someone had asked me on Twitter, hey, would you mind elaborating on that? Because everybody hits me in the DMs. The thing is about Ninja, and I'll try to be brief about this, but I can give you something a bit more expansive later if that's what you want. Ninja, first off, has never been squeaky clean. He's been an asshole. He's been a dick. He's been one for a long ass time. Fortnite and him blowing up allowed him to clean his act up. Am I saying that Ninja's not a good person? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's a fucking asshole. He's been an asshole. There are plenty of clips out there before Fortnite that proves all that shit. But like I said, does that make him a bad person? Nah, he's just a piece of shit. Fuck you. Fuck you, Ninja. You a piece of shit. And there's a lot of people who say that. Do I say that, though, from like a malicious place? Nah. Well, fuck him. He's a piece of shit. In any case, that's just what it is. This squeaky clean thing that he's doing is nice and is certainly profitable. But it's because of the game that he's playing. A game that he himself is probably not liking. Now, why is all this negativity coming at him right now? It's always been there. It's always been there. It's not on some detractor level shit, but it's always been there. So there's always going to be people that's going to go for your headpiece. Look at Dr. Disrespect. Goddamn, he had shots fired at him 2 days in a row. The thing is Dr. Disrespect can handle that shit a little bit better. Or if he does, not to say that Dr. Disrespect retaliates, but if he does it behind the scenes. He does it in a business manner. He's a bit more intelligent about it. Shroud's another example of someone who handles stuff behind the scenes. He doesn't let that stuff visibly bother him. Ninja can be shaken up. And it's because he's young. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to let some shit online go ahead and get the best of you. But the thing is, Ninja, and as I said in my last broadcast, you're in a different space now where this is your life as it pertains to the public. And people will poke at you in any way, shape, or form to get you to buck in a way that makes you look like a goddamn idiot. Now, you have this controversy with Ninja, as I should say, where people are saying that you had them banned for different type of situations that most people are looking at and being like, why would he do that? And now this is starting to span back. There are people that are coming out the woodworks now with proof of this. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a day and age where people have screenshots, people clip shit all over the place. And they're only waiting for opportunities for this stuff to come about. That's what's going on with Ninja now. He soared a little too high, and people are kind of just tired of him. I wouldn't say he soared too high. Let me take that back. People are just getting tired of him. They're just getting old with him. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their run, and then it fades. At least from the public standpoint, it fades. As long as he can still produce and keep bringing these kids in, getting them to buy those microtransactions, as long as he can keep expanding himself from a business standpoint as it pertains to Samsung and all these other endorsements, he'll be fine. He'll be absolutely fine. And what he's doing is laying down the groundwork for what's going to come later. The problem is, if you can break the man, you can kill the movement. And that's what you're starting to see with Ninja now. Dr. Disrespect's another example. Even though his endorsements are slightly different and whatnot, they're numerous. And if Dr. Disrespect, I can assume, I can almost assure you to some degree that if he wanted to go for the big advertisements, he would. And he will, eventually. As long as he can make it happen. But his fan base is slightly different too. So you have to kind of gauge your demographic and move off of that. Now let me jump back to Phil for a minute. This is where you fucked up, Phil. It's funny how you had all of these opportunities to expand and to do all these things, and you didn't want to because you wanted to be the realest guy on YouTube. Let me use myself as the example. I do DSP News. Okay? And then I'm expanding off into, I guess, these two podcasts, if you want to call it that, where Gout and Wine and Wine and Doubt. But then now, and I'm still going to do those, by the way. I also want to start getting into, someone had given me a great idea for a wrestling series. Loco Slam, and there's another individual on Twitter who actually play wrestling simulations, and I kind of want to do color commentary on those as like a side project. I have to get with those individuals though and see what's up with that. But I also want to start talking about Dragon Ball in particular. There's a bunch of great animes and mangas out there that I'm reading, but I have a passion for Dragon Ball, the series itself. But certainly, there's some things that I have a problem with as it pertains to Super that I want to dissect into. And it'll probably be like a mini-series. We'll see what happens. Some people are going to like it, some people aren't. I'm not afraid of rejection or failure. So for me, it's just whatever. It's just a matter of having the time to do it, Phil. You yourself built yourself up on this platform of being the realest guy out there. So trying anything new would be depriving what people, or at least in your eyes, Phil, what people came to see. If people really are down for you, like you have a fan base, I have an audience. If you have a fan base that's super dedicated to you, yeah, then they'll watch you no matter what you do, for the most part. That's what it means that's what it means essentially to have people who are devoted to you the way they are. Because look at how you abuse them, Phil. And that's the reason why I say that I have an audience and you have a fan base. Because you actually abuse these people and they still keep coming back. There has to be a certain aspect of that. Now, I'm not saying that right there is the overall of what a fan base is. Obviously, that's not true. It's trying to be satirical with it. But you get what I'm trying to say. I think you guys get what I'm trying to say with it. You abuse these people who either leave and become detractors or become fans of detractors, or they sit there and they keep taking the lashings and coming back to you. There's something wrong with that. So it's funny how you keep talking about mentally ill this, mentally ill that, but what would you say about some of the people in your fan base and all the shit that they put up with? And I'm not talking about just putting up with your verbal abuse, but all of the fuck-ups that you did. You're talking about people that have been with you for years, Phil, and watched your downfall and tried their damnedest. And I give a lot of them credit for that. They tried their damnedest to try to steer you away from what you ended up becoming, and you didn't want to listen. And anytime someone came out with a criticism, you immediately shitted on them. And if they pushed the narrative further, or if more people came around them to rally, you went ahead and just had them banned. You had them excommunicated to some degree. And you wonder why your failure is so pronounced. You brought this all upon yourself because you weren't willing to make the moves from a business standpoint to not only stay afloat, because that's what you always talk about, just staying afloat, but to actually thrive. To move forward and thrive. And be like a trendsetter in some degree. You say that you're one of the forefathers of Let's Plays, and you came up with this is how you, or not this is how you don't plays. Even though this is how you don't plays came up around you, it was invented because of you, I should say, but you didn't come up with it. Did he say Let's Plays or playthroughs? One of the two. He said he invented one of them, which in truth he didn't invent either one. It precedes him. But you're saying that you're the one who made that popular on YouTube. It's not true. There were other people doing it before you. You were just an asshole that was amusing. And that's really what sums up your legacy, Phil. I'm saving that for my legacy video I'm doing on you. But that's what really sums up your legacy. You were an asshole that people were amused with. That's all it was. That's all it ever was going to be. And because you weren't here's the problem, Phil, which I'm still kind of wrestling with, is did you fail yourself or did your fan base fail you? Because people still stuck with you despite your flaws, despite the spiraling downfall. Now, those two things aren't a reason to abandon you, but the way you treated them is. And they still stuck with you. They still had to treat you like some goddamn delicate snowflake, and they still had to prop you up. And because of that, and in spite of that, in some way, well, because of that, certainly, is the reason why you're at where you're at now. But it was your own ineptitude is what ended up certainly putting the nail in your coffin. Now, I've always said that the detractors who ended up getting out and becoming your detractors, they weren't doing it to shit on you. I feel in a lot of ways they did it to try to save themselves. And what I mean by that is they had devoted so much time and effort into you that there was no reason to go down with you. Sorry guys, I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but I think you guys get my idea. Like I said, we'll save that for my legacy video. DSP News?
Piece of crap. He's a lying piece of crap. That guy is such a two-faced fat piece of shit. He pisses me off. Like, I seriously hate people like that are so fucking dishonest and two-faced and will do anything to make a fucking nickel. He's disgusting. That's insanely dishonest. Dishonesty for me is a big thing. It's like the ultimate betrayal. You know what I mean? A silver-tongued talker, right? Oh, I'm just going to say it one way, and hopefully you'll believe it, even though that's not the truth. And that's literally what's happening here. The guy's a liar. The guy's a fucking blatant liar and lying to everyone. But people are believing it because they don't know any better. So that's why I do things the way I do them. I really like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Just because it's a month later and the game drags on and has grinding and most people aren't watching the playthrough anymore doesn't mean I just quit the fucking game. You know? A lot of these streamers out there, oh, I just play every new game and I drop it after 2 sessions if I'm not getting millions of people on my fucking stream. I'm not like that, you know? And I'm not going to do that. I'm good at lying. I got no freaking horse. No horse and no money. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer...
Sadly, that's probably what's going to be his future in a little while. His horse is going to get stolen. Then again, it wasn't his horse anyway because he stole that. And he's probably even more broke now than he was before Panda left. And you all remember how that was. He was living in slop. Could barely get his laundry done. Blankets smelled. Couldn't even turn on the heat and shit because couldn't afford it. You know what I'm saying? Doing DSP tries behind the scenes and shit. Couldn't go and got mad the day before Thanksgiving on why he couldn't go over to his local supermarket across the street to get anything because they were either sold out or they were super fucking busy because, yeah, Phil, it was the day before Thanksgiving. And people buy shit at the last goddamn minute. And got mad about it. And then ended up getting stuck with a Hungry Man meal, if I remember correctly. That's that DSP logic for you. Oh, DSP logic. Oh, boy. All right, let's go ahead and get into the next broadcast, which is our bonus. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back to January 10th of 2018, ladies and gentlemen. Snort Burnell. Yet again, one of our favorites. I'm so professional about this. She wants to be his maid. Let's go ahead and look back at Cat. Before Cat was even really there. And let's go ahead and take a look at some of the parameters and some of the expectations that Phil had of his new little kitty before she got there. Shall we? Here we go.
Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. Phil's a...
This is how I play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Oh my god. Sound good?
Last night, when I was playing Metal Gear Solid 3, we hit the 450 subscriptions goal that I set for the month of January here on my streaming channel on Twitch. Holy crap, guys, that was amazing.
That's incredible. And I do want to say to you guys, thanks for the money, stupid fuck.
So what does this mean? Number one, it means that we are going to be doing an Indies Marathon, either in late February or early March. Sadly, on YouTube, things are the complete polar opposite of how they are here on Twitch. You know, here on Twitch, my attendance is up, everyone's participating, cheers, subs, and tips, everything's up, everything's great and positive, right? On YouTube, it's like the fucking apocalypse. And what I mean by that is, views aren't necessarily down, in fact, they're not, views are about the same.
Views, views, views. I don't want to be Mr. Views. Ad revenue is in the toilet. Wah, I'm not making ad revenue. Wah. I'm not exaggerating here, folks. I looked at this yesterday. So far in January, every day in January, I'm making about 1/3 to 1/4 what I was making in December.
On a daily basis. Wow. That is god-awful. And it's for two reasons. Number one, it's because ad revenue plummets in January on YouTube, because all the advertisers that came in for the holidays, well, they're not selling those products anymore. Christmas is over, so they lose a bunch of ad revenue. That's number one. Number two, the fact that I'm playing Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, and the majority of these videos have been claimed by Konami. So the major playthroughs I've been doing now for a full week, I'm making pretty much nothing on at all. So the only videos I'm putting out that are monetized right now are the PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and or Fortnite, multiplayer that a lot of people are not watching, okay? My viewers on YouTube, for whatever reason, they love narrative-based, story-based playthroughs or big, AAA games. They hate multiplayer. I don't think I've ever put up multiplayer sessions on YouTube for the past 5 years that got any kind of attention. Seriously.
Let me step in for a minute. So one, as it pertains to the narrative games or whatnot, as I've said before, as others have said also, the kind of Japanese narration type games, or eccentric games, if you will, those were the backbone of his Patreon. Those were the backbone games of his Patreon. Hence the reason why he's played Persona so many times, for example, and Yakuza, and so on and so forth. And he completely abandoned it because he didn't take care of himself, and he was always throwing his goddamn voice against the wall, and eventually ended up shooting on him. and had the nerve to blame the game for it when, I'm sorry, Phil, that you don't have enough self-control and you don't have enough breathing and whatnot, because you don't go out and exercise or nothing, which is the reason why you sound like you're out of breath a lot, and all that snorting and shit, and that essential wasteland, which is your fucking office, is one of the reasons why you're in such bad shape. Whatever. So there's that. Second, as it pertains to YouTube, you know what the decline was because you've been on there for like 10 goddamn years. You should understand when your ups and downs are. Yet again, you need to adjust. Third, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, or as I said, Axe the King without the stupid hat, is really only useful for the detractors and nobody else. Fortnite, that is what that is. But let's be honest, the reason why the multiplayers don't do well is because you don't invite people to play. If I was going to do a multiplayer event, right? Let's say I get myself, Jackal, and James the Lesser. I want to get like 2 or 3 either subscribers or just general viewers of any of us, really, to jump on in with us. It makes it fun. It makes it a bit more interactive. If I was doing a stream by myself and I'm trying to run a lobby for a Call of Duty, I'll probably go for an older one. So we'll say Black Ops 2. I need to get a squad together. I need 5 people. I want to pick people. I want to pick people who either watch the content or subbed, or just people that are there and be like, hey man, can you ready up in like 10 minutes? Yeah man, cool. Alright, fine. I give you guys 15 minutes. The first 5 people who make it into my lobby, we getting in. And we'll rotate like that every 4 or 5 games. I might actually do that. And it's a fun interactive experience. I don't need to sit there and do fucking background checks just to get a couple people in to have a multiplayer event. You know what I'm saying? It's not even an event. It's just kind of, it's a chance to get to chill with other people. It's a chance to kind of, you know, it's really just you. You're supposed to be a gamer, right? It's you actually gaming with other gamers. That's all it should be. It shouldn't require this fucking huge ass background check to see if this guy's a troll and if this guy's not, and who's in deep cover and who ain't. That's why your fans don't like it, because none of them can ever participate. It's always the same 3 or 4 fucking dudes that come in there who bring nothing to the content whatsoever. They're all boring and whatnot. They're just there. They're your typical side piece cocksuckers. They don't provide nothing. They don't expand on anything. They're just there. And even the ones, and even the few that try to go up and out the box, that try to make it entertaining, it breaks your narrative, and all of a sudden they get shunned. It's fucking lame, Phil. It's really fucking lame. That's my opinion, though. DSP News.
Views. I don't want to be Mr. Views. So, that being said, folks, I really desperately need the money to help with my tax situation. So, hint, save the house. Your support here on Twitch at this point is incredibly appreciated and needed. I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills. I'm going to need your guys' help. I really am. I'm going to need your support. I need it. Oh my God. Tomorrow, I am beginning Demon's Souls, the final run.
I've got a minor update in regards to the time off that I'll be taking in February because it looks like my girlfriend will be moving in with me, which is amazing. I'm very excited for this, obviously. No, I'm very disappointed. No, it looks like she's moving in, and it looks like, I haven't solidified the dates yet, but it looks like it's going to be the middle of February. The middle week. So, tentatively now, it's going to be between February 11th to the 17th. I can tell you right now, it will not be that whole week. It'll probably be 3 to 4 days, where one day she'll arrive, and then we'll get her settled in, moving her stuff in.
Cleaning out the house, because we do need to do a significant amount of cleaning of the house in order to kind of make room for her.
And then we'll be going around and doing stuff together to get settled in. Like, for example, she's transferring her job here, and she said, this is a perfect opportunity. I'm moving, new place, let me get some new clothes for work and stuff. So she's going to do some clothes shopping, stuff like that. Typically, we have to get her driver's license, because she has a driver's license for her state. She has to get a driver's license now in this state. So there'll be a lot of kind of busy work we'll be doing those first few days when she's here. In addition, it's going to be pretty awesome, because that week is, guess what? Valentine's Day. Holy shit, is that going to be amazing for her to be here on Valentine's Day, our first Valentine's Day together. Oh, yeah.
That's terrible. That's such a terrible thing. It's going to be pretty sweet. It's gross. Oh, my God. Oh. And I'm sure there'll be people who are going to be up in our shit and are going to be... Phil's already moving in with his girlfriend. But he's only dated her since last year. Yeah, well, guess what? I'm not a whiny baby. I'm a mature adult.
You know, there's only so much you could do. You know, she doesn't live here with me. It's not like I could have more time with her. You know what I mean? It's not like I could have more time with her.
But it was never about having more time with her, Phil. It was about what she could do for you. She was merely there to fill a role. You needed someone to cook for you. You needed someone to clean for you. You basically needed someone to take care of you. That's basically what it was. And back then, we used to joke about, well, where the hell did you find this girl if she doesn't have any clothes? You have to get her out here and buy her shit and do all this, that, and the third. Well, because she got kicked out of her previous stable, and all she had essentially was a gaming PC, a monitor, and maybe the clothes that were on her back, and that was it. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it tells the tale when you go back and you go ahead and just kind of bring the whole story together. It's amazing how it all fell into place, and it's also amazing going back and looking on how not just detractors but the fan of detractors, how they were right about a lot of this stuff, or how they were able to deduct what the situation was. It was really easy if you go back and look. It was really easy. But at the same time, though, too, she was merely a means to an end. He needed a replacement quickly. Even though him and Panda were on very bad terms, she still provided a service. And he needed someone, and when she was gone, he needed someone else to provide that service to him. And that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad. But that is the Phil Burnell way, though. DSP News.
Spend more time and see if are we more compatible? I've already been dating her for almost, well, not a year yet. It was the summer of last year where I first met her, and we spent some time together, and then basically we've had 3 extended periods together and a few smaller ones in between. But, you know, the bottom line is long-distance relationships are tough. Alright, they are. Because even though I talk to her every single day a lot, it sucks because we're not there with each other. We're not able to see each other. And
now, isn't that funny, too? So, like, she wasn't there, so he was talking to her every day, talking it up on how good life was going to be. Now she's there, they barely talk. Now she's there, they barely talk. The whole image that he tried to paint for Galtopia, his own personal Camelot, if you will, it didn't even come to pass. It was a facade, and he couldn't even maintain it after she got there. Like, you can't tell me, ladies and gentlemen, that this isn't an arrangement. This isn't a partnership where two parties need mutual services to be provided, and that's all this is, and that's all it ever was going to be. I feel like, in some ways, this isn't exactly a theory, but follow me on this one. I think Cat had a pretty good idea of what she wanted when she got there, and she was probably transparent about it. And he was like, yeah, no problem, whatever. But I think Phil was hoping as time went on, and as he got to know her a little better, he was like, well, eventually she'll come around and we can actually make this work and be a couple. And she always was dead set on, nah, this is merely just an arrangement. This is really just a means to an end. I'm not looking for anybody else, or if I am, I'm not looking for you. You need this to be done. I'll make sure it's done, and you basically let me stay here and whatnot. There'll be no problems. And it's almost like Phil wanted this to be real. He wanted the lie to be reality. When in reality, Phil, you are a lie. Nothing about you is real. Nothing about you is authentic. Nothing about you is legit. You've always painted a facade of being what you could be, but in truth, what you could never be. That's what you are. The sad part is the only person who can't see the lie is you. I mean, unless you're drunk, of course, or first thing in the morning. Then that's when the reality check comes into play. Outside of that, everybody else is slowly but surely starting to see it. You actually have a group of people that are trying to look past it because they have hope for you, even when you yourself don't even have that same hope. It's depressing. DSP News.
It's expensive to have her fly out here, and we can't afford it. Neither of us can, alright? So this is kind of the permanent solution.
What the fuck? Are you fucking serious?
So anyway, she'll be out here in February. Obviously, yes, when she moves in, I'll be vlogging some stuff. I'll be taking some pictures. Is it going to be like it was with my ex-girlfriend? Fuck no. As I've said, my girlfriend does not really want any kind of a public presence on the internet. She's not looking to have social media. And all
don't forget, Snort, Burnell. You had everybody thought it was good. It was funny. It was like it was Vidal, or Tiffany, or Sarah, or Josephine. There was, there was quite a few candidates out there that people thought might have been the girl. So there you go with that. It was a really exciting time. It really was.
For you guys to be following and everything at all. She wants to have her own private life going on and share a life with me that's not super public. Although, yes, you will be seeing her every once in a while in vlogs and videos. If I do DSP Tries It, obviously she'll be in it. If we do a playthrough together, in fact, there's actually possibly a playthrough coming up that we're interested in doing together.
It was a natural attraction, lol.
But you're not going to see her all the time, all right?
We didn't see her barely any of the time. Most of the stuff that you talked about, she never even showed up in. And if she did, she only held the camera. Imagine that. Phil being a liar. Imagine that. DSP News.
My streams, my videos will be about me and my content and my games and my, you know what I mean?
I'm all about myself.
And it's not going to be stuff that's massively carrying over all the time, because I know that doesn't work. From experience.
Shout out!
Gizora did a 25-bit cheer. He says, if your girl does decide to start streaming, will you allow her to advertise it? Sometimes people just need to come out of their shell. Well, here's the thing. I'm certainly not going to put any kind of restriction on her and say, if you want to have a social media presence, if you want to do videos for YouTube, if you want to stream, I mean, go right ahead. I'm not going to say no. I mean, that's not right. That's not how a relationship works. You don't just fucking tell your significant other, no. Alright? It's about discussing stuff and compromise and everything. You know, if she ever wants to do it, absolutely. Go right ahead. The one problem I would say with that is that, sadly, in my house here, I don't have a direct internet line for her to use in the office that she's going to have. When I moved in, I actually wanted to have 2 internet lines upstairs. I wanted to have one in my office and one in the extra office. And I was told by the cable company it cannot happen because to have 2 lines right off the same line like that, right next to each other, they would basically degrade the signal. And so even though I would be paying for 2 internet lines, there's no way I would be getting the speeds that I'm supposed to be getting. And that, quite frankly, you know, even having 2 lines uploading and stuff like that right next to each other, it wouldn't work. They basically said I would have to have one upstairs and one downstairs, because that was enough separation of the lines that it wouldn't interfere with each other, okay? So that's how I have it. I have one cable modem here in the office, purely for the business. It's purely for uploading videos, live streaming, and that's it. Then I have another modem downstairs. That one is the one that's set up for example, live streaming of Netflix, live streaming of PS View television. All that stuff goes through that modem, plus my phone is connected to that one. All wireless devices in the house are connected to the modem downstairs, okay? So, sadly, I don't have, like, a wired connection that'll work for the office that my girlfriend's gonna be in, okay? So for her to stream, wireless, forget it. You cannot stream on wireless. It's just not good enough. Wireless internet still is not to the capacity where it's good enough where you can live stream. So, in that regard, I don't think she'd be able to live stream. The only way she'd ever be able to live stream is if I ran an Ethernet cable all the way around my room from where the modem is, across the hallway, all the way around her room, to reach where her computer's gonna be, okay? And even then, alright, sadly, it probably wouldn't be as good because, you know, I'm constantly streaming or uploading. So if she tried to ever stream when I was, forget it. It would be 2 things on the same line. That'll never work. So live streaming, I don't think it's gonna work, man. Now if she wanted to make videos for YouTube, that's different. YouTube just uploading, you can upload wirelessly, that's fine. Because you're not trying to maintain a constant connection or anything like that. But I have absolutely no idea if she has any aspirations of wanting to do that. I know for a fact the first thing she wants to do when she moves in is get settled into the house.
She wants to clean the house because she actually, if you can believe it, she likes cleaning.
Don't ask me how I found a girl who likes to clean, but I did. She likes cleaning. She basically takes pride in, you know, knowing that she's going to be living in a nice house.
What?
And she wants to kind of...
That was complete and total bullshit. Like, she wants to move in, get settled in, and immediately start cleaning and cooking. The fuck? That's what the plan was. And he believed it. Even people in his own fan base at the time was like, where did you find her then, Dave? Like, that doesn't sound... Having a clean environment is one thing. But, like, that's where her aspirations are? Is she, like... Does she have, like, a maid cleaning business or something? Or, let's reword that. Does she have, like, a house cleaning business? Or something along those lines? Something that can be profitable, yet still doing something that she enjoys doing? Like, what was it, Phil? What was going to be the narrative behind all this? And then, yet again, as Storm Burnell has on screen, you're going to shit on Panda when Panda did everything in that house. There are plenty of vlogs that prove that. You didn't do shit. If anything, you made more of a mess than anything else. And Panda probably got tired of doing that too. You shouldn't have to clean up after someone who's like, what are you, Phil, like 10 years her senior? I mean, seriously. I don't know. It's funny how all this came to pass later, though. It's really funny. DSP News.
Spruce up the house a little bit, and she's going to be starting her job relatively quickly. So within, you know, just a couple weeks of her moving in, she's going to already be starting to work. So it's not like she's going to be sitting around the house all day doing nothing. She's going to have a job to go to and everything. So, you know, it's not like she's going to be, well, I'm bored. And
if I remember correctly, that got pushed back by like a month or so. Because they had complications with her license, and then they had to get other stuff knocked out of the way. I don't think she ended up going to work for like another month after that, if I remember correctly. It might have been a few weeks. But it certainly wasn't in the time frame that he thought it was going to be.
To do. She'll have her game systems and her PC and everything set up in there, so if she wants to game, she can in her free time. And, you know, the other thing now that's cool is I have Netflix and everything set up in the living room, so, you know, she wants to hang out there and watch some stuff when she has free time. She also, another thing she wants to do is she really wants to start making different kinds of dishes for dinner. And so that's going to be another thing that she's going to start doing is trying out different recipes and trying to learn how to cook different things that she's never cooked before. So that's another exciting thing she kind of wants to do once she's... It's
funny, though, too, right? That she had all of the type of attributes that he was looking for in somebody. It's amazing how all that came to pass, right? It's all a coincidence how he needed someone that was going to make him home-cooked meals every night and who will clean up after him and has a job. It's almost as if he wanted Panda back and he just couldn't get her. So he went for the next best thing. I mean, just saying. I could see how one could come to that conclusion. DSP News.
Done before, so she's gonna be busy, occupied. It's not like, oh, I'm so bored, I want to live stream and I can't do it. This sucks, you know.
Should be pretty fun. I can't wait. I can't wait to see how this works out. Everyone's lazy. Doing a 9 to 5 would be easy. And now people, it's sexist. She's gonna be cleaning and cooking. She wants to. Oh my God!
What the fuck? Whoa! Whoa! It's actually funny because I was talking to her. I swear to God, this is a real conversation I had with her last night. I was like, okay, well, you know, I've been, you know, obviously, for almost the past year doing everything around the house myself. And what I think we should do is we should split responsibilities.
That's 100% a lie.
Like, for example, you know, if you want to clean, that's fine if you like cleaning, but I'll still wash, I'll still do the laundry.
I know you're lying.
Because I've been doing the laundry, you know, I know how, you know, obviously I learned how to do it myself in the past year well with my washer and dryer here. So I'll keep doing the laundry and, you know, you can do the cleaning. And she actually got upset. She's like, what, you don't think I can do the laundry?
I'm good at lying.
I was like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I was just saying I would, you know, I'd like to I could keep doing it. That way you don't have to do everything. And she's like, no, I want to help. I'll do it.
Sounds like bullshit. Especially since around this time, ladies and gentlemen, Phil was just learning how to... He was just learning how to work the washer and dryer too, by the way. It's funny how you left that out of the story. But he was just learning how to use the washer and dryer around this time. So that was the only thing he could hold on to. Apparently, he doesn't know how to sweep, use a Swiffer, a vacuum cleaner, doesn't know how to dust. None of that. I'll just do the laundry because I'm just not figuring that out. Because Phil's a good boy. He ain't do nothing. He ain't do nothing wrong. He's been a good pig. He's been a good piggy. He ain't do nothing wrong. He wants to do laundry. Because he finally, he's a big piggy now. Got his pull-ups and everything. He was making shit happen. Fucking hopeless. Oh my God. It's really something to be serious for just a second. Why did anybody in his fan base, I should say, or at least a few people who did, why did they believe this? Why did they believe that he could find a random woman within 2 months of essentially Panda leaving, who he was in a relationship for 5 years? They believed that he found a woman who had all the attributes needed for him to move forward. And it was going to work out. It's been 9 months. She went from cooking, cleaning, to do all these things, to cooking occasionally, to now doing mail order meals, to now, well, we're going out to eat now, to now we barely spend any time with each other. All in the span of 9 or 10 months, or 9 or 10 months. It's absolutely amazing how he fucks everything up. And I've said this before, that everything he touches turns to shit. If any of this was, if this was even half true, there was no reason why he should have been able to screw this up. And yet he still did. And I think, in my own personal opinion, it all comes back to him trying to monetize her. Him putting her into his content and trying to make a buck off her. We'll talk about that further, I guess, at the end of this. DSP News.
Huh?
Well, I'm not going to complain. She actually wants to help and do stuff. I was like, well, I'm not going to complain then.
That's what Phil is. He's a bad person. He's a bad gamer.
I guess I found the total package. I don't know how.
We're soulmates.
I even said to her, I said, I have no idea how the stars aligned that we met. Because, like I said, I had no intention of looking for anyone. After I broke up with my ex last year, and out of nowhere, it was just kind of complete random chance that we met. And I was like, what is this? Like, I guess sometimes in life, things just happen for a reason. And I'm not really a person who believes in karma or fate or, you know, any of this stuff. But it was just so random.
Wait. Wait. You don't believe in karma, yet you've been railing off on Tevin talking about karma's gonna come back to get him. But you don't believe in karma, Phil. This is on January 10th of 2018. You said you don't believe in karma, yet you're wishing karma to come back and get Tevin. Oh my. The revelations are just coming out all over. Making a sloppy mess that someone's gonna need to clean up.
And then we clicked, and then everything, and it's like, you know, amazing. It has been so good, and I'm so happy.
Typically, after 4 months, I tend to forget everything. My head is like a sieve.
Everything is so great, and I'm so happy. Oh my god. I'm so happy. What is wrong with you, Phil? What is wrong with you? I feel like I feel like we just heard the bitch come out of him. I mean, Phil is a bitch, but I feel like we just heard the bitch come out of him there. That was hilarious. He was so happy. Why, Phil? Why? You were a good boy. You didn't do nothing. Now look at you. Jesus Christ.
Alright. Spicy Walrain did a 100-bit cheer and said, Phil, I've been getting tons of hate messages ever since I subbed to you, and messages about how you hate gays.
I'm gay, totally gay.
And you did tax fraud, etc. I'm a new viewer, but I'm smart enough to know these comments are fake and exaggerated, but it does kind of make new people like me not want to support you. The gay comments did hurt, though, being that I am gay. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we all know, anyone who, especially who's watched my stuff for a while, you know that the things that these people say about me are ridiculous, okay? Just because I made jokes about homosexuality over the years doesn't mean that I'm anti-gay. Just like, for example, oh my god, Phil made an Asian joke, Phil made a black joke, that means he's racist, right? No! It's called humor.
Man, I'm stupid. I guess I'm not that smart.
It would be one thing if it was a running pattern of me constantly attacking and insulting. I don't do that.
I'm good at lying.
As I said, I'm an equal opportunity jokester. I will poke fun at anything, any race, any, you know, ethnicity, any sexual orientation. Trust me, I've made fun of myself quite a ton over the years as well, alright? It's not like I'm just poking fun at others, alright? No, I am not against it. I've always said this. I believe that everyone has a right to be happy. I do. I don't care what race you are, what sexual orientation you are. I don't give a shit.
Everyone has a right to be happy as long as that happiness does not come at the expense of the health and well-being of others. That's the other thing. No, I don't believe that a rich person should be able to stomp on the little guy in order to get ahead and become filthy rich. Oh, no, I'm happy. Well, fuck you. You don't get to do it at the expense of other people.
But everyone has the right to be happy and have their own, you know, happy life experience. I don't care what your sexual orientation is, what race you are. It doesn't matter. It's so stupid. It's such a nitpicky, stupid fucking thing for people to care about. And I've always been of that mentality, right?
Unbelievable.
So the things that people say about me are so absolutely ridiculous. Yes, I committed tax fraud. Of course I did. Ladies and gentlemen, if you commit tax fraud, you know what happens? You go to jail. You go to jail. It's how dumb these fucking kids are. They just completely make shit up to try to make me look bad.
Tax fraud, I'm still on the fence a little bit with that. Definitely tax evasion. You definitely didn't pay your taxes for 3 fucking years, and then used a fundraiser to get the money to pay it, and then got mad because all the money that he made, that he begged for, ended up causing his overall income to go up, which caused him to pay more taxes later. Absolutely hilarious. We call that gout inception. DSP News.
What I will say is this. I apologize, obviously, for people who are supporters of mine, and they cheer, they sub, they tip, they do all these things, and then they get harassed by these dumb fucking kids and or the mentally challenged on the internet. And I do mean that.
Why am I toxic? They're mentally challenged. They have issues. They have problems in their heads.
You want to know how you know that? Because guess what? Normal people who are well-adjusted don't spend their fucking time stalking a person who streams video games on the internet and or stalking their followers. Just think about how insane that is. I'm so mentally fucked in my head, I think it's a good use of my time to harass people who send bits to someone on a live stream.
That's just fucked in the head, dude. That's not normal mental behavior.
Happy holidays! Happy holidays!
Oh my god.
Any doctor will tell you that. Not just me, alright? And it would be one thing if you, oh, Phil, you shouldn't bring that up. Mental illness is not a nice thing to bring up or whatever. Listen, folks. The fact of the matter is, the things that have happened to me over the years, the things people say about me, it's definite mental illness. There's no other I mean, right now you've got people claiming that I had an escort, or I don't have, even though my girlfriend's moving in with me in mid-February, I don't really have a girlfriend. It was actually an escort who was here in December. And I abuse women and I do, there's literally no factual evidence of any of this, but they literally just make it up to get attention. Why? Because they're mentally unstable. They're fucked in the head. They need help. It's pretty nuts, right? It's pretty fucking nuts. And any moron...
What's even more nuts is the fact that you're only a step or two away from Chris Chan status. Like, you're literally only a hop, skip, and jump, literally, away from that. You're not that far off the ball, Phil. You're really not. And it's funny how you keep talking this whole shit about mental illness when, in truth, there's something obviously very wrong with you. To be pulling all these antics day in and day out, and think that it's okay. To think that it's normal. That's the thing that makes Phil such a fascinating type of watch, is that he does stupid shit and he believes that everybody else does it too. He believes it's normal, even though he doesn't know what fuck normal is. He thinks this is how the world works, when it's so far from the truth. He thinks he runs a business when he doesn't. You are successful, and I use that term loosely, successful at something for a couple of years, and you think that's how everything should be. Hence the reason why he never changed. You think that you can string along these obviously very impressionable, very vulnerable women and think that's okay. That's all right. You didn't I don't know if you're trying to turn them into your mother or you're just trying to turn them into servants, but you think that's okay. You think that's all right. You think that's normal. You treat people who give you money, you praise them 1 minute and then you talk shit to them and ban them next. And you think that's all right. You think it's okay. Because your ego is so fragile that you need that trumps everything else. You think that every shortcoming that you have is somebody else's fault. So it's okay for you to blame anybody, everybody for your own downfall. Because you're not man enough to take responsibility on your own. And you think that's normal. And you think that's okay. And that's why people come at your headpiece. Dspnews.
Shit like that is obviously has something wrong with them too, you know? So it's just so fucking dumb. So I have to apologize to those of you who are supportive of me, and you have to put up with that shit. Obviously, if I could control it, I would. I can't. It's out of my hands. But if you get people who harass you, block them, report them. You can get them banned off Twitch pretty easily, because all that shit is against Twitch's terms of service, by the way. And obviously, if you see people who are repeat abusers and they're in stream chat, let my chat mods know. They'll take care of it, you know? We're all here to have fun and have a good time.
I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills, Thank you very, 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 very much. Thank you. Really, thank you. Agreed.
You think there's something normal about that? You think a mentally sane person would do that? Jesus Christ. I don't even think Judas Iscariot would fucking bow that much for the money that he got. Despite it was useless to him at the end anyway.
Massively strong. I have no fucking self-control. Typically after 4 months, I tend to forget everything. My head is like a sieve. Big Boy Dumper did a 75-bit cheer. He says, your enemies are retards. Well, let's not... Every time you throw around the R word, people get insulted because they're people who actually are mentally retarded. And you know what? I'll be honest. People who are mentally retarded, it's not their fault. People who actively choose to be stupid, you know, actually, I think it's disrespectful to actual people who are mentally retarded to call them retards. Because they're not. They're actually choose to be stupid, and it's insulting to those who have actual...
So then, are the people who harass you and do all these dumb things, detractors and so on and so forth, are they stupid or are they mentally ill? Which one? Pick one, Phil. Because to be honest with you, I'm starting to really... I don't know, man. I'm starting to really think that there is something wrong with you. And that's fine. Everybody has their issues or their quirks, but there's really something the fuck wrong with you. And you demonstrate that every day, which means that at least within your little roach nest there's something wrong with them too. Not all of them, but certainly some of them. Like I said, I don't know if gout is like airborne over there or if it's sexually transmitted. I don't know, because you got a bunch of guys over there talking about inserting shit up each other's asses or whatnot. But there's something wrong. There's something in the water over there in North Galtopia that's turning into shit. Just saying, starting to remind me of certain countries who are having issues too. We won't name no names. Here we go.
Condition to call them that. But anyway, he says, every time I cheer, I get spammed the N-word. Yesterday, someone told me that Phil has gouty fat butt. Oh my God. Phil has gouty fat butt. That sounds like something a 3-year-old would say. Everyone, I just ended the pre-stream. However, I just got the urge to use the bathroom. Wow. Burn in hell, Burnell. And now I'm going to burn in hell for the rest of eternity because of it. You can't change who you are, I guess. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. DSP's a pedophile. DSP is a thief. DSP is a greedy fuck. I have a micro penis. Alright, I'm not dead, but I swear to God, I wish I fucking was.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Very interesting situation to say the very least. But, mildly entertaining, I suppose. Mildly entertaining. Moving forward, as we get it, as the hardcore begging season's still in its early days. We're still in the early part of pig roach hunting season, as I like to think of it. Because that's really all the hardcore begging season is. It's just hunting down more information. Phil's crutch is obviously gonna be Tevin until he gets backed into a corner where he can't use that anymore. It's not drumming him up sympathy. It's obviously a call to arms, but no one's really doing it. And if it's happening behind the scenes, it's not working. I know that Tevin's on Mixer. He should go to stream.me because that shit's starting to pop off heavy and whatnot. There's a lot of people in the anime community that I watch that are over there now. They just went ahead and left Twitch and go over there. A guy that I like to watch, King of Lightning, for example. Sorry about that. That's the editor. The King of Lightning was over there streaming the other day, and he streamed. I think he basically went through Overlord. He had like a small marathon for it, and it was a good watch by far. And there's a lot going on over there. And even though most people are only getting like 60, 70 views, unless you're the Ralph Retort or Andy Worski, it might be a really strong platform to get on, and it doesn't look like they have all the crazy restrictions that Twitch does. So be interesting to see what will happen in the future with that. I guess we'll talk about it later on and see. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, GTG Network and Productions. I'm your host / anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. Have a good day, guys. End the broadcast.